Happy birthday, Dad. This is my part of the video that Naomi and Carmen and I are putting together for your 60th birthday. Naomi had this great idea of kind of following a theme of highlighting those times in life where you made us feel very special, very loved. And I thought it was a great idea, and so did Carmen. We're really happy to do this. And it's not easy, actually. This is my 4th or 5th attempt to do a video. I keep going on so long, I keep running out of space and then have to start over. So I'm going to try to condense it to those really significant parts. So I started with moments in our childhood where we really felt that you loved us because you spent quality time with us. So I have really wonderful memories of playing pillow tag and you playing Little Peter Cottontail and us running around the house, the one song that you ever sang to us ever in life. But hey, I sing it to my daughter now, so that's something we passed on to the next generation. If I go ahead a little bit and hit age 13, this was a very important part of my growing up and a really significant moment in my life. And we were in Saskatchewan. We'd gone over to the neighbor's house. Most of us, you stayed home, and we watched the Jesus video, and it got to the part of the video where it showed the crucifixion. And it was just a real stirring in my heart by the Spirit. It was the first time that I really felt the impact of God sending Christ to do what he did on the cross for us, and what that meant for my life, and what that should mean in the way I live my life. And I had to leave the room. It was so overwhelming. I actually went home. You were sleeping, so I went in to wake you up because I needed somebody to share it with. And, you know, waking you up after you've fallen asleep, that can't always go well. But it did that time, and you opened up your heart to me in that moment, and you let me sit on your bed and talk about what had happened. And you shared that moment with me in such a beautiful way. It was very impacting because you have that sensitivity in your spirit too towards living life for Jesus, and having made that decision to live for Christ was so big for you, and it was so big for me, and it was very special to share that moment with you and get your, not just your support, but that feeling of your happiness in that moment, and how it impacted you as well to see your daughter make that kind of decision in her life. So that was a really nice moment that I will always cherish, that I got to share that with you. And if we go ahead a little bit, also in Saskatchewan around the same time, I wrote my first song. And it was one of those moments where you kind of have this recognition of, oh, somebody feels like I did something good. I don't know what it was as far as your reaction, because I can't remember what you did or said, but it could have been a look on your face or something that you said that indicated that it felt I had done something that you were so proud of, something that had a natural talent that maybe something you didn't have or something you couldn't do, and you relished in that moment, and you were so proud of me. It was, I think, went a long way to helped me to start realizing that I was my own individual, that I have my own talents and my own gifts and capabilities, and that I was just as special as everybody else. I was as equally valued as everybody else, but I was my own individual. And in the same way, throughout growing up, you often told me when you felt proud of me, and you instilled in me that I was a beautiful person as an individual. So as much as we're equal and we have equal value, we have our individuality too, and those things that make us different and make us special, and that we should really have a good, healthy view of ourselves. And as a teenage girl, I mean, that's a hard thing to come around to and accept as truth. So you did a really great job of making sure you told us over and over again, and me in particular. So I really value that. I hope I do that for my daughter as well, and that she feels really good about herself. And on that note, there was the 16th birthday date that you took us all on, where you gave us a necklace with the key to our heart, and all of that was fun, and all of that had value, but the one moment that I took from it was when you opened the car door for me at the end of the date, and you told me that if I was to go on a date, and the man or guy I was with did not open that door for me, I just stand on that curb until he does, or let him drive away, and call you and you'll come and open that door for me. And I thought that was a really funny moment, but I'll never forget it, because you were telling me in that moment, look, you are worth something, and if you have a guy in your life who's significant, or who's going to be a part of your life, he better see that, and he better treat you that well. So thank you for that, and I'll pass that on to Jordan as well. There were a lot of other moments, just general things. The quality time was really big, and in Saskatchewan playing street hockey, or just the fact that we got to spend time with you racing cars in the house, or playing kick the can, learning how to skateboard. Really not bad, not very well. Bike rides, playing tennis, all of those things were very valuable and good moments. And you and I talked about this the other day, that you'll just have a good feeling about it. You won't remember necessarily what happened, but you have these good memories, and that those good memories are associated with you, a lot of those. And so that was, that always sticks in my mind as something that had quite a bit of influence on the way I view myself now, or what I value in family. One thing you did really well in particular was to teach us about consequences, to teach us about life and about life actions and what happens when you make certain decisions. And you did it so well. You had pretty good, thorough explanations about consequences and about what life is really like, and how it's so important to look for what actually truly makes you happy, so that we're not running after those things that we think are going to make us happy, but won't, because they'll have these long-term effects. And because you did such a good job of that, I never had a desire to go try things that could potentially be harmful or dangerous, or, you know, end up with a consequence that I have to live with for the rest of my life. I mean, we all make those decisions, but you did such a good job of, I don't know, enlightening us and giving us that information. I never really felt like I had to pursue that somewhere else. I felt like I had kind of an edge there, where I didn't have to experience it for myself. I was really satisfied with kind of getting a good grasp of what could potentially happen, and I had no desire to do that or put myself in those situations. So it really protected us that way, and that was a really great way to show us that you loved us and you valued us. So to spend that time to think about how you were going to do that, and do that for us and for me. So thank you for that. Another really impacting moment, kind of the next stage in life, as I got to be an older teen. I was doing the worship ministry at church at Enderby Chapel, and I do remember one specific moment when I was going over my sermon with you that I was going to share on worship, which was highly intimidating, especially in that church. And I remember your feedback being so positive, and specifically you were telling me that I had written something really good, and some things you hadn't even thought of, and I was like, whoa, you haven't even thought about that? Whoa, that's pretty good. So that feeling of knowing something and being validated for that, you've done that so many times, and as we get older in life too, you continue to do that, and you ask for our advice, or you'll ask for our opinion, or for me, that's pretty huge, because I guess I value intelligence, and something that's important to me, and it's nice to be honored and valued for for my thoughts and for my opinions, and for my expertise in certain areas. And as you get that from your parents, it's kind of like a big moment of, oh, I think I might have just grown up. So I always really appreciated that, and that you valued that and let us know in specific ways how you valued our opinion, our knowledge. And then a really big moment was the day I went to college. I didn't expect you to be so emotional. I mean, maybe it was because I was the first one to go. You gathered us all around. We all put our arms around each other. We prayed, and it was a beautiful sending off. And you did tell me how much you were going to miss me, and there were a lot of tears, and I think I didn't expect all of that, and I expected to be missed, but not that much. So it was a tough driving away from that, and I cried quite a bit on that trip. Good crying, how much I knew I was going to miss you all, and how much I was going to be missed. And man, not everybody has that experience, so that was pretty huge for me. Then there was the walking down the aisle at my wedding. You might not remember what you said to me. I'm not going to get into the details of what you said, but how it impacted me was, it was along the lines of you kind of telling me that, maybe the family didn't support my decision on who I married with good reason. But you said something that helped me feel like, yeah, Beck, I have confidence in you and your decision. You're going to be fine. And I just felt really good in that moment that you had that confidence in me, that you had that belief in me. And then if you fast forward a number of years and compare that to actually the day that I left my husband, you gave me the same kind of message. And that was, you're going to be fine. You're going to make the decision that's best. Just think about it, decide what you're going to do, and go. I have faith in you. I can trust that. And I mean, you helped me with that in that time of my life quite a lot. I don't know what I would have done, or if I could have gone through that the way I did without your support. But I mean, it meant the world to me that you were not only there, but you were saying, "Hey, you're competent. You can do this," and that gave me all the confidence in the world to go ahead and start living my life as a single mom, which isn't easy. You know how to ask the right questions. I know that you don't always want to give me advice when I ask for it, because you don't want to be held responsible in case things blow up. But you help me to get to my own conclusions and give me some insight that I need. I always value that, because you've been right enough times that I always take whatever you have to say into consideration. You do it with such love and care. There was a moment when we had our Denny's Christmas. By the way, I love those Denny's Christmases when they come up. And I was sharing something from my heart that was really tough. And I was trying to work through it in counseling, but it wasn't really going anywhere. And I spent 5 minutes with you, and you nailed it. You said something that made me feel so free in that moment. I don't even remember exactly what it was. I know the nature of it, but I don't know what you said or what I actually figured out. But you got to sit back and watch me bawl and cry like, I would normally do. And you knew that I just felt free. And you said that. You said, it's very freeing, isn't it? And I can't even tell you how blessed I feel that I have a dad that is as gifted as you are in that area. And I'm very fortunate. And all of us are so very fortunate that you have this incredible gift of knowing people and knowing how to unlock those things in their lives to help them move on and continue to grow as a person and get past things that hold them back in life. And Dad, I mean, for all the things that you've given me, those are some of the most precious and wonderful things. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful year and a wonderful many years to come. I can't wait to spend them with you and see how things go. But I love you so very much, and thank you for loving me that way too. Bye.